Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Podium Picks. This one's going to be a blast. Sean Woodland and Tommy Marquez here with you, being joined by our good friend and former colleague all the way from Cookeville, Tennessee, Rory McKernan. Rory, how you doing, man?
Former, I thought that, see, when you said come on the show, I thought that meant that I was now on the show.
You are, okay, I will correct myself. You are always and forever a colleague. How about that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you doing this. Today, Tommy, open draft. We have an open draft. So we're going to draft our favorite things from the open.
Yes.
So,
The open. Yeah. Open/open announcement draft. Yep. I love it.
You want to go through the categories?
Yeah. Let's go. So we've got five categories today. And we have a guest, only the finest guest that we could ever imagine for this type of draft. We're drafting a location. So the location of an open announcement, an athlete pairing for the open announcement, the workout, so what the workout was itself, and justify your pick. However, a Castro outfit for an open announcement, and the always interesting miscellaneous.
Yes, that's where it's going to get interesting, because I think I have a couple good ones.
Yes.
So
miscellaneous means I can just make anything up. Why I liked it.
Yes.
Yeah. And then anything related to the open announcement type thing, it doesn't have to fit into a category, whatever.
That's the wild card.
Yeah, that's the wild card.
Okay. All right. Copy that.
Okay. Ro, we always let our guests decide where he or she wants to draft. So you will get to choose first. Now, like, this is fantasy football style. So if you pick first, there's 4 picks that go before you get to pick again.
Snake draft style.
Snake draft style.
Copy. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that I wrote down my stuff as I did, because okay. I'm glad I'm not set in my ways. I got a couple options here.
Okay. So do you know where you would like to pick?
I mean, the only reason I'm picking to start here is because I begrudgingly did the Cole Castro outfit thing. Like, the fact that I have to vote on Dave Castro's outfit, I'm doing it begrudgingly, so I'll just start there.
Okay, so Ro will pick first.
Pick first. All right.
And then you and I will, now Tommy will flip the official coin of podium picks here. Do you want me to flip it? I'm always calling it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yep.
All right. So heads is white. That's tails.
Yep.
Here we go. Call it in the air.
Tails.
It is heads.
Okay.
I'll pick third.
Yes.
Okay. So Tommy gets second. So Ro's going to kick us off. So we'll do 3 rounds, and we have a whoop podium we have to do, and then we'll conclude with our 5 rounds. And before, you want to announce that you are victorious from last week too. That was a close one. So Tommy is coming in as a champion. He redeemed the honor of the show. Thank you for doing that. We're back in the win column.
Yes. So I won with over 35% of the vote. I was saying Dave Lipson effectively acted as the Ross Perot of the election, splitting enough votes away from Camille to allow, and
probably me too.
Yeah, to allow.
I was never a factor though.
Yeah, to allow me to sneak in there and take the overall vote. Yep. So I want to thank everyone for getting us back in the win column.
Well deserved. Nice
our lifetime record now. Sean has 1 victory. I have 2. Our guest has 2. And now the weight of the world falls upon Rory's broad, well-chiseled shoulders.
And listen, give me rules. So I understand the way that we make picks, but how do I win?
You win by having people. So when we do the show, when we publish the show, we put a post on Instagram that has all of our picks, and then people get to vote on who had the best draft. So that's how we determine the winner.
So we'll post each person gets their own little independent graphic with all their picks laid out.
Very professional.
Yeah, very professional. So
nothing but the best.
Yeah, and so then you will be at the mercy of social media, which
oh, buddy,
kind of describes the world at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like a Black Mirror episode.
All right, fair enough. Okay, cool. I get it.
So you're on the clock.
Yeah, Rory's up with the first pick.
Okay, and when we say Castro outfit, it doesn't matter, good, bad, indifferent.
Doesn't matter. It just has to be something that you liked or disliked, or for whatever reason.
And you don't have to pick that first, just so you know.
Yeah, you don't have. You can pick whatever you want first.
Oh, I could pick any
category.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
You just have to fill out your draft board.
Yeah.
Oh, copy that. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go with it anyways. I'm going to say that because I did. First of all, if I'm on the clock, I apologize. I'm going to just completely annihilate.
There's really no clock. I just say clock.
Okay, good. I had so much fun going back and watching almost every single announcement that was out there. So thank you guys for making me do this. It was a really fun walk down memory lane. Dave Castro in 2014, it was.
Ooh, okay.
He actually got he hired somebody. help him with his outfits. And
all right,
that crescendoed up to 14.4. We're in Seattle, Washington.
remember this?
Which was another cool. I'm just going to be in the categories too later, but I'll tell you what then. You were there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And this was the shout out to Nirvana when Dave went like frizzy hair, leather jacket, flannel shirt, and a Nirvana t-shirt.
Yeah. So and frizzy hair, Nirvana.
You went there, man. You went all the way. You went all the way, and it was so fun for so many reasons. But
we'll call it Grunge Castro.
Grunge Castro. I like that for the Dave outfit for Roe.
And that's a good one. That was 14.4, right?
Yes, 14. That was Handshake and Bridges, right?
Correct. The first time I think that they met, and that was a great matchup too.
That was first time I met Cole Sager in person too.
So that was him. Yeah, that was that like chipper that had muscle ups at the end, right?
Like the rower, it was they called it an AMRAP, and we were like, "Why is it called an AMRAP? No one's getting around to it." And they definitely did finish on the 60 cal row.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
they got around.
That was a good matchup. Yeah,
it was. All right, so Roe is starting out with Grunge Dave.
Okay,
which now Tommy Marquez, you're on the clock.
And it's 3 picks per category.
No, just 1 pick. We're doing 5 rounds, so you just have to fill out.
Category.
You just have to fill out 1 category.
Yep.
One of these categories.
So treat each category as like a position in fantasy football.
Yes. And look, if you want to draft, because of your wild card, if you want to draft 2 Dave outfits, you're more than welcome to.
Interesting. All right.
So I am actually going to I'm going to break my draft protocol here, and I am going to draft miscellaneous first.
Really?
Yes.
See, I was worried about this. Okay.
I also did that.
So I'm going to go. I'm torn between 2.
Oh no.
But ultimately I go for quality over quantity here. And I'm going to do the Roe versus Boz Matrix announcement video.
Oh yes. That was fantastic. So, that was,
a day spent filming at the Fit Aid warehouse with Ian Wittenberg. And I mean, Rory was a little bit down on his luck from the previous season, and it was his announcement of his coming back to fight.
Yep.
And I mean, movie tropes be damned, and I loved that video. I watched it 1,000,000 times.
You and I both had speaking roles in that video.
Yes, we did.
You did the whole Morpheus and whoever thing.
Neo. And then, I loved your bit. Katrin, why are you in the clouds?
I think that was even a separate one. The Katrin and the Clouds one was a separate one. And this is what's funny.
I was just series, right?
Yeah, rewatching this, I was like, we were putting those into shows in 2017. Like I watched 17.1, and there was a Roe versus Boz commercial. I was like, oh my gosh, we really went for it.
It was Rory for America was the one where she's in the clouds.
Yeah.
The Matrix one, where was that the same one where we got to trash talk you too?
No, the one where she was in the sun, you trash talked me. Remember? And then I ended up on the beach rolling around. Like we with fences, man.
I might actually want to. I can't.
That was so good.
I can't switch my pick now, but.
I feel like it could be a draft of its own. There was enough of those. There was the sweeping one where Boz ended up in my bed. Remember?
Yep.
Oh, I woke up in the bad dream.
You had the bad dream where like. Sorry, Ro, this is my family now. And your kids start chanting, Boz, Boz, Boz. Oh.
Dude, my kids had a friend over that night, no idea what was going on. And they're like, what is happening?
Oh, man. Family. Those are fantastic. All right, so the one I'm drafting, and I may have actually just jumped the gun because I almost like the other one more now, but it's Roe versus Boz. If you want to see it on YouTube, it is which one is the one. And
that'll lead down a good rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fantastic.
Okay, well, I dodged a bullet there. I thought you were going to go for mine.
Yep.
But you didn't. So so I'm up, and I'm actually going to go. So let's see. We have an outfit off the board. We have a wild card off the board. I'm going to go with a matchup because I feel as far as matchups go, this one was probably the best. And I think
I'm worried about this.
I think this was the first time, and Tommy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we had men and women competing at the same time. on the floor at the same time. So I'm going to go with 14.5.
Damn
at
it.
Kezar Pavilion, where we had use a wrestling term here, Clash of the Champions.
Yes.
We had Jason Khalipa, Rich Froning, Graham Holberg, Sam Briggs, and Annie Thorisdottir. And I think it was the thrusters and the burpees over the bar?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the workout. And it was the first time we'd have men and women competing together. It was the first time, I think, I take that back. We ended big in 2013 when we were in Santa Cruz, when we were at the Civic Center there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool because that was the dual matchup between Camila Blanc-Bazinet, Sam Briggs, and then Rich Froning and Jason Khalipa, which was fantastic.
Don't give away picks.
Which was fantastic.
Okay.
And then we finished strong again in 13.5, going to Kezar Pavilion, packed house with 5 athletes on the floor, and Sam Briggs wins. And I remember, I forget who, I think it was Kiki Dixon, maybe was doing the.
No, Sam Briggs. So Sam Briggs doesn't win.
Who did win?
So this
Froning.
is the
Froning won. I thought.
I'm going to pump your pick up here.
Okay.
This is because it was the first time we had
all right
mixed gender pairing, and we had all 5 champions at once with Khalipa, Holmberg, Froning, Sam Briggs, and Annie Thorisdottir. And it was Sam Briggs came shot out of a cannon. She came out with reckless abandon because it was 21 down to 3 by 3s of thrusters and bar facing burpees. And she came out swinging. And Froning even says in the interview afterwards.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought maybe she won. So
he's like, I was just going to let her go. I was like, there's no way I can catch her. Mm-hmm. Like the fact that Sam Briggs made Froning think that in an open workout is worthy of an epic.
Okay, see, that's where I got confused.
Yeah.
I remember that interview, and I think it was Kiki said, "What did you think when she went out like that?" He goes, "I'll let her."
Yep.
But then I think then I forget that
he started to reel her back in slowly, and then by the end it was like this push to the end, and Froning snagged it. But it was
my apologies to Rich Froning.
I remember that was it because Kezar Pavilion is the pavilion right next to Kezar Stadium, which is where the San Francisco 49ers used to play. I played a championship game for a semi-pro football league that I played in there, and it's just like an awesome historic grounds place. And that was the first time I was like, we're blowing this one out.
Yeah. So that's,
and it was also, it was interesting also to see some former champions of the CrossFit Games make the workout look like Roe versus Boz in comparison to Froning
that's
and
a good point.
Sam Briggs. I was like, oh, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. I think Annie finished last there.
I think you're right.
And everyone was like, oh, and which was crazy because Annie goes on to finish second that year at the games.
Her back. She was coming off the back injury thing.
Yeah.
That was her year where she was coming back.
Mm-hmm. But that was such a cool, like you said, it was almost like CrossFit through the ages with all the different champions right there. And that was a fun pairing for sure.
All right. So I get my second pick now as I start off round 2.
Damn it. That was my number 1 athlete.
I had to go with that one because I felt like that one was, I feel like there's more depth elsewhere. That to me is like the clear standout number 1 matchup. So where do I want to go next? So I am going to go with, I think I'm going to go with the Castro outfit here. And I'm torn between 2. I have these, this is equal, value on the board for me. I feel I'm getting 1 and 1A here.
Yeah.
I'm going to debate this with you to see if you can influence my decision. There's typical Dave of liking to stir the pot.
Yeah.
And then there's, Dave just doing something crazy. So I feel like he was, all right, I'm going to go with typical Dave. So as we all know, or actually many people may not know this, Dave Castro is a huge Miami Dolphins fan.
Yes. Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But he is always willing to play to the crowd and always willing to, make people happy.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that he is willing to do something so egregious in my eyes, as far as fandom is concerned,
100%,
that I couldn't believe he did this. In 15.1 in Boston, Massachusetts, Dave Castro, a Miami Dolphins fan of the AFC East division rivals with the New England Patriots, the hated New England Patriots, if you're a Dolphins fan. Dave Castro, because he is who he is, dons a Tom Brady jersey. And that, to me, is peak Dave Castro.
Oh my God.
I don't think that it had nothing to do though also with like making like a goatiest goat conversation. I don't know. This is 15. So I guess it was Brady was still in the conversation back then, but I don't know if he's trying to stir the pot even in that way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to stir the pot up, down, left, right, center, and turn it upside down.
And that outfit did it because it was like you had Froning and Fraser. You had Tom Brady land up there when he was still with the Patriots.
Yeah.
And Dave, I mean, you couldn't pay me. Like if I had to do something in San Francisco, you could not pay me enough to put on red and gold. It is not going to happen. No way.
No
I'll just
chance.
be agnostic as a fan there, but I will not put that jersey on.
If you told me that in order for my job, I had to put on a Donovan McNabb jersey from the Eagles when he basically went to 3 straight NFC championship games and broke the hearts of Cowboys fans year after year after year, I would quit my job.
I mean, I couldn't.
Nope. Well, for anybody who's listening, if you gave me the right day rate, I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. So you can reach me via my email.
Says the guy in a gaming chair with an American flag behind him.
Right.
I love it.
Okay, so those are we're in round 2, so I guess it's now back to you, right, Tommy?
Yes, that was actually my one of my. That was my number 2 technically Castro outfit. I called it. I nicknamed it Turncoat Castro.
Yes, exactly.
when he put that jersey on, oh man, I couldn't believe it.
I even said he's a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, that guy
too. Like when we went to Chicago a couple weeks later, he wore a White Sox hat.
Yeah, he wore the White Sox hat too. Yeah, he was big about that. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm number 2.
I didn't play this game right.
My number 2. I'm going to go location.
Oh, good. I think I know where you're going to go here.
Yeah. And there's a couple. There's some classic ones I want to talk about afterwards, but I'm going to go 16.4 at Shriver Air Force Base in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Wow, not where I thought you were going to go.
Yeah. So I am, because anyone that didn't hear behind the scenes, for that to be able to be pulled off, the amount of hoops and logistical and the red tape just to be able to get clearance to do that was like, I don't know, was Wilson with the company then? I feel like,
oh yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say like Wilson probably lost like 10 years off of his life trying to make sure that happened because to get government clearance.
And he's 60 years old.
A
lot of city miles.
Yeah, a lot of city miles. Love him to death, but we put him through the ringer. And getting clearance to have an event on an operating military base and to be able to do so for CrossFit, was something that like we had never really done before. And we were kind of breaking new ground. And obviously there's tons of ties with the military in CrossFit from the training in the early days. And then to do so, and it was a matchup to be able to host with Sarah Sigmund's daughter and Catherine David's daughter. And that was an awesome matchup to bring that
was a good one.
To Colorado Springs, Colorado, at an operating Air Force base. Just knowing the magnitude of the effort to pull that off was huge. And I thought that was a step forward in the cachet that CrossFit had to be able to do something like that. Like you don't go up to Uncle Sam and be like, yo, we want to have 2 Icelandic women work out on your backyard. And he's like, yeah, okay. Catch you later.
Okay,
but,
playa.
Yeah. Sorry, playa. But yeah, so to me, that was a big step forward. And that was
a cool announcement.
That season was the season of locations for me as far as the Open is concerned. And I can explain more later, but
good ones.
Yeah. Shriver Air Force Base in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Okay. So now we're back to Roe, and Roe, you have back-to-back picks now to close out round 2 and begin round 3.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that I understand. We only get to pick one for every category?
No, you can pick. Well, you can pick. Yeah,
you have to pick one for every category, but then your miscellaneous.
Yeah, your miscellaneous
could be a second.
Anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, goodness, you guys. But then we get to talk about it. Like, can we talk about all of our honorable mentions afterwards?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, 100%.
So much. There are so much.
That might take longer than the draft.
Yeah.
No doubt. Okay. So I guess I'm going to go with location. And this one is virtually impossible because there's so many. I mean, I have 10 written down, each of which I could pick a great one. What I'm going to pick is 17.4 in Mexico City.
Yeah.
Ooh, I forgot about that one. I mean, I remember it, but I forgot it was 7.4.
Yeah.
It was international. It was really, really amazing to see. First of all, like people get behind Brandon and the hometown crowd. They were equally supportive of Brooke Wells, but obviously they wanted their girl to win. And it was probably, I mean, we've been in a lot of loud auditoriums. We've been in a lot of loud, like even the, the Coliseum, wherever you want to match it up to. These people were absolutely nuts. And then being able to having to do the workout afterwards and understanding that, I didn't know Mexico City was at elevation, and I didn't know that it was so damn hot in this room. And it was one of my favorites because of the energy there, and walking around like Mexico City and people recognizing Castro and people recognizing the athletes, and just the we were making a global impact at that point. It was 2017. We were well into being a global sport, but that was that was one of my favorites for many, many reasons. But and also Boz warming up in a luchador mask.
I'm guessing you brought that from home.
Hey, but if people see this, I'm not going to get a lot of votes because this show is not en español. Pero mi gente de Mexico, give me your votes. No sé cómo se dice.
Okay.
All right,
I think
thanks.
I got the nothing wrong with soliciting votes and
They
support.
They voted for Roe
in front of my American flag.
I remember that announcement because I think you could see how hot it was in there.
Yeah,
and it just looked like a sauna.
And that was an epic race.
Yeah.
Man, now that Rose said that, I'm kind of regretting my location pick. I know what you thought I was going to go with.
Probably the one I'm going to take.
Yeah, it's probably the one you're going to take now. But I didn't want to. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I got.
Now, you got another pick, Row. So now we're starting round 3.
Man, oh man. Okay. I mean, I guess I'll go with workout. There was a lot of workout. So there's some that I thought of as a fan. There's some that I thought of as a quote unquote athlete, which ones I actually enjoyed. One that stood out. Oh man. See, this is almost impossible. Here's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with what would become. I guess we probably didn't know the gravity of what it was at the time, but it would become one of the last live broadcasts we would do in a big way, at least for some time, and that would be 18.5.
Okay.
Ooh.
When there was a fan vote.
Yeah.
We were in Iceland with the daughters. And so like on site with the daughters. I guess I'm mixing things up here. But anyways, the workout itself was it became 11.5. So it was thrusters and chest to bar. Is that right?
For 7 minutes, right?
Yeah. So maybe the gravity, maybe I'm thinking about the matchup versus the workout itself, but the workout itself was also super classic CrossFit. We always kind of ended with a thrusters and a chest to bar type thing. And being there in that stadium in that atmosphere with those girls made it that much more special.
That was cool. And that was the first time first and only time they did a fan vote for the Open, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
That was that you're right. That we had no idea what that would end up being or what that would end up meaning because of all the things that unfolded. But yeah, I was pleading with people to vote for that one because I was like, we guarantee that our suffering is over in 7 minutes.
I wanted the other one because I hate thrusters.
Oh man,
I just wanted one Open without thrusters. But
the other workouts that were available, one of them was it was like 14.2, which was also 15.2.
It was the chest to bar,
overhead
squats in the window that decrease every time.
I'll tell you now, I'm not picking that workout as my least favorite workout of all time.
Terrible.
I'm built like an octopus and a lot of ROM and just limbs all over the place. And that is not beneficial for someone with long limbs.
Okay. And that week, I forget, I think this is the year that Boz got injured, but I got to do that one head to head with Marston and Heber too.
Yes, that was fun. That was
my broadcast versus the Buttery, before they were the Buttery Bros. This was still Heber and Marston versus Rowe.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun at that announcement. They were good hosts, CrossFit Reykjavik. Great city too.
Yeah, awesome.
Oh, dude, great city. We went to the Lebowski bar. Me and Boz put down probably 7 Caucasians. What do you call them? White Russian.
White Russians, yeah. Ooh.
Great night. It was a great
night. Oh, Jackie, you make a mean Caucasian.
All right, Tommy, you're up now with your first pick here in round 3.
All right, so I got my miscellaneous. I don't need to pick my Castro outfit yet.
Wow.
Does Rose start a run on workouts?
I don't know. I'm kind of debating. I want to kind of go athlete pairing here.
Okay.
And I'm torn between two.
Mm-hmm. I think I know the two you might be torn between.
You took the number one.
Which?
You know what? I know what I'm going to go.
The champs?
Yeah, that was the
champs one. That was my number one on the board. I'm going to go. There's two of them that I think are important, but I think now that I look back on it, and this is going to be the only one. I think this might be the only pick that's post purge.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm going to go Tia Toomey versus Matt Fraser in 19.5 in Miami. I got to be there live and called that. And that workout, everyone can go back and point to like just a nasty, brutal workout that they had to do. And 19.5 stands in my mind as one of the most disgusting and just sheer imposing workouts that we've ever done in CrossFit for the Open, as just jacked up version of what we were also used to. So taking the 21:15:9 Fran workout and then adding a round of 27 and 33 to it. And that was, I mean, we get examples of why certain people are on just different planets than us. But watching that go down, there was almost kind of a little bit of a disconnect between I think what the athletes thought they did and what they actually did. Because Matt got done and he's like, oh, someone's going to beat that. And I literally looked at him like, no chance.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I goes, there is no chance anyone in the world beats what you just did. I just watched you do it. You did it like it was a walk in the park and you went head to head with Tia. You and Tia probably will, one of you will win and one of you Tia might be top 3 worldwide in that workout. And everyone then turned around and did that workout and either got time capped because the time cap was 20 minutes or they finished and they paid for it dearly.
That workout was miserable.
And seeing that workout go live between those two was just like, I'm like, it was a little bit of a capsule of watching just the greatest go at it. And they're in their element. Like the only viable matchup between two athletes in this workout is these two people who are at the top of the sport going head to head.
You know what? Good on you for thinking about that one, because I didn't even consider any of the ones after 2018.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned that one, I remember doing that workout. I didn't sign up for the Open, but just doing it because I wanted to do it. And I think I was in my round of 21. And I looked at the clock and went, oh, Fraser was done by now. I suck. Just brutal.
Well, and they were loose, man. Like I was there too, Tommy. I remember like Fraser, I can't remember. Oh, it was on his Instagram, but going live and just like making fun of Heber and like people were having fun.
Totally. It was just, man, there was stress behind the getting that workout or getting that announcement good to go in time, just because like it was just part of that, post purge, situation. Just so everyone knows, Matt Fraser did 19.5 in 6:53. It's like unfathomable. 6:53. And I don't think Tia was too far off him at 7:48.
Man.
And I mean, you have 45 reps of Fran normally. You add another 60 reps. So you're adding time and a third. So 133% to Fran, and you're finishing it in under 7 minutes. You're
probably the most impressive Open performance I think we ever saw. I think it's easy to say that
physically. Yeah. And it was a matter of, and I think it was a piece of what we got to see from them. That was like an introduction to what the Matt Tia relationship would be the next 2 years of, we're not competing against each other, but we're pushing each other to new heights because we're like, brother and sister and just like, you don't want to lose to your sibling kind of situation. But
wow, that's a good one, man. That's a really good one. Okay. So I will close out round 3 and we will do our Whoop podium for the week. We're going to do recovery for the month, correct? Because we're at the end of February.
Yep.
And then we will kick off round 4. So I can go anywhere here. Let's see. You know what? Okay, I'm going to try to end. Before we go to break, I want to have a good story.
Okay.
So I'm going to go my wild card moment.
Uh-oh.
And I believe which one was Vegas 15 or 16?
15.
15.5. So that was
15.5.
all right. And it's not what you think it's going to be.
Okay.
All right. It's not poor Roe on the rower. He's been totally reframing my expectations of what was possible in that workout. It's what happened afterwards. Okay.
All right.
So that night, and I can't remember, I know it was Roe was there, I was there, and I think Joe Novello was there, who's a coordinating producer. And I can't remember who the other person was. Who was it, Roe? Do you remember?
At the table?
Yeah.
I mean, my wife was there, but
she wasn't at the table.
She was there physically.
Okay. Good point. All right. So we're at the craps table. Okay. We're at the craps table, and Joe Novello, who, for those of you who don't know who Joe is, if you go back and watch the Roe versus Boz video, Joe is the guy who's like the Mickey character who trains Roe and ends up slapping him in the face.
Yep.
And Joe at the time was a coordinating producer of the CrossFit Games. He is now the director of media for sport there. So he's getting into it. Like, we're watching craps, and Joe's saying all the, got a hot roll, hot shoot, all the stuff. Like, he's into it, right? We're all just kind of watching. And this girl comes up and she's rolling, and she hits snake eyes like twice. All right.
Twice. Doing this without crapping out.
Yeah. So Joe says to Roe, hey man, just put $20 on snake eyes and see what happens. Just put it down. Or all right, whatever. So Roe takes his chips and puts it on snake eyes, right? And so the girl rolls a couple more times and has a normal roll. And then like the third roll after Roe puts his money down, she hits snake eyes, and we are that table that erupts. Like, like you hear. Roe turns this $20 bet into $700. And we're like, $700. It's going to be, we're going to go get drinks. We're going to have fun. Roe's buying $700. And you know what Roe did? He went to sleep.
No, hold on. Let me correct this story. Let me correct this story. What Roe did is he turned to his beautiful bride, whom he loves so much, and he said, we won $700. What do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I just want to go to bed.
What? That is a fact. All right. I did leave that detail out.
I love it. I'm going to throw her under the bus, but that was amazing. Because Heber's bet is always a hard 10.
A hard eight.
And he told me that. And I was like, oh man, I'm going snake eyes. And then she rolled it twice. And I don't know if it's ever happened in history, man. 3 snake eyes on a single turn.
The odds of that are insane.
Astronomical.
I mean, the hard 8s and hard 6s hit more often just because there's more combinations, like the 8 and 6 are a common number. So you just naturally get that number pulling up, but snake eyes is insane.
Yeah.
Like, to have it rolled 3 times in a turn. So
do some quick math.
Anyone that's familiar with craps is a turn is basically from when you get the dice to when you crap out, which is rolling the number that will not be named because you never say it. During a non-coming out roll. So once a point is established, if that bad number is rolled, then your turn's over. Most people roll 3 to 5 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Some people even less. And to roll snake eyes 3 times, which means, I mean, you're usually rolling for more than 5 minutes, but that's one of those like once in a lifetime stories.
35 to 1 odds.
Yeah. 35 to 1. And
we were so excited.
That whole weekend was legendary, by the way.
$700. I had a great picture of him too, with all his money fanned out, like after he went and cashed it in. And then,
but that's the
story. I left for the airport from that hotel without a shirt or shoes on. And that kind of sums up the entire weekend.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love those. See, that's what Vegas is all about. Yep. I love it. You just kind of, you just in Vegas, you let life come to you.
Yeah, so we'll just call that Roe wins $700.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's
a good one.
Oh, that's so good. I'm hard 8. Fun. Yeah. That's Heber's bet. And it actually won us a ton of money on Marston's bachelor party. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the start of like parenting too, where you're like, now you win your bet and you go home and you're like, wow, we're going to pay some credit card bills.
Exactly. We had this delusions of grandeur that we're going to go out. We're going to have a fun night. Roe's going to throw some money down and make it rain up in here. And then
boring.
Yeah.
But actually we're paying our medical bills from last year.
but that new industrial vacuum comes in handy at the house. Okay, so now we're through round 3. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to do our Whoop podium for the month, so we are at the end of February, and we are going to highlight the people in our Whoop group who had the top recovery scores, average recovery scores for the month of February.
Yes, our top recoverers, is that a word?
Yes.
For the month of February. Number 1, Shane Byrne, 81%. Nice job. Ooh. Number 2, Carolee Drohan, 76%. Number 3, Amy Wiles, 75%. Number 4, Zachariah Likely. He's likely to finish from the top 10, 75%. Andy Various, 74%. Number 5, Brett Prager, 73%. And number 6, number 7, Cass Green at 73%. Veronica Rodriguez is an 8 with 72%. Tim Paulson.
All right.
Big man showing up in the top 10, 72%. And then Thomas Halloran rounding out the top 10 with 72% on average for the entire month of February so far. All of these athletes are in the green. Tim Paulson getting ready for Open, man.
Nice job, Timmy. All right.
What about number 293?
That must be Rory McKernan.
I don't know why you're glossing over that.
Oh man. Yeah. I'm nowhere near the best. Like I was saying, my 4 of the last 5 days have been in the red. So got to work on that.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to get on our Whoop group, go into your settings, click join a team, and the code that should work. We've had some problems with it, but we're hoping it works now. Is talk-fit. Fit has 2 T's. Both words are capitalized.
Yeah,
check that out.
It is case sensitive. So if you don't capitalize the T and the F, then you will get put into a purgatory group.
Yeah, that we were trying to get into.
Integrate. Yes.
All right. On to round 4.
All right.
So I have my matchup. I have my outfit, and I have my wild card. So I need to go location. Workout is tough for me because there's so many good ones.
Mm-hmm.
But here, okay, I'm going to go. I've got 3 here that I picked, and then I like them all for different reasons. But I'm going to go with 15.1 because that was the first 2-parter. As Dave said, we have 15.1 and 15.1 A is 1 rep max clean and jerk. All right. So, and that was also the matchup for Ronan Fraser, the only time the 2 of them have ever met. And no, second time.
Yeah.
1 of 2 times.
First of 2.
Ben Smith was in the one that was at the ranch. Yeah, and it was what I loved about it is that it had this pretty simple workout up front. It was I think 5 toes to bar, 10 deadlifts, 15 snatches. Or was it the snatches and deadlifts reversed?
I'd have to double check.
But it was 115, very easily manageable load for especially the elite athletes. So it's one of those workouts where everybody could play, and everyone was always complaining, we don't get to test a 1 rep max, and we want to lift heavy and okay, you're going to get to do it, but you got to earn it.
Yeah,
and.
It's classic Castro, by the way.
Which was great.
If you want to lift heavy, you got to earn it. It was deadlifts were 10, snatches were 5.
Yeah. Yep. So it went 15, 10, 5. It went down. Sorry. But I just I love the fact that he said, okay, everybody, you want to test your 1 rep max, you're going to have to earn the right to do it. And of course, there were a couple people who were like, they did 1 rep on the toes bar and then just rested the rest of the time and then hit these huge numbers. But those people were not a factor in the overall competition. And I think later on, I think that's also what spurred the sort of, I forget the name of the rule, but it's like you have to put forth an effort to get through it.
Yeah.
In order for the score to count.
Yeah. Because you had these big old just weightlifters that put in 1 rep and then they just tried to max out their clean and jerk.
So yeah, you had that happen, but it was I thought it was a really cool twist on an open announcement because we had never seen anything like that before where we had a 2-part workout. The first part, which is also, I think, classic Castro, when you look at a lot of the open workouts, the first part is pretty easily accessible to anybody. But then there is a part where, okay, now this is where the big boys get to play. And, everyone has a 1 rep max clean and jerk, but the really elite athletes did extremely well, obviously, in the first part and extremely well in the second part. And it's one of those that I think if you just look at, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing if you look at how people did just in that 1 open workout alone, it probably mirrors pretty closely what the final leaderboard was going to be, with a few exceptions here and there. I haven't looked at it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what you saw. So I'm going to go with 15.1 because that was the old first 2-parter. And I don't know, I think with only 3 weeks, maybe in 2021, we might get another one of those. So possibly some foreshadowing going on.
It's kind of crazy how eerily close that workout mirrored the eventual result of the season for Matt Fraser that year.
Yeah.
Because it's particularly the clean and jerk. Him and Froning were basically rep for rep right there on the first workout. But then Matt, I think everyone kind of thought that he would have the edge on the clean and jerk, being, a former Olympic weightlifter. And it came down to the point where basically he had a chance to win with the final lift.
Mm-hmm.
Like Froning had taken his last attempt, Matt's last attempt, he can take it, cleans it, no problem, goes to jerk. If you watch the video, his foot, his back foot steps on something. I think maybe it was like a shaker bottle had fallen over and there's a little bit of water.
No. It was his shoe. His shoe went wonky, like on his foot.
Okay. Yeah. I saw his foot like twist and slip a little bit. It was, I'm not really sure.
Weird.
I thought it was maybe liquid or something but I guess it was the shoe. Yeah. It like folded, and what normally like he would have just like stomped it and stuck it and locked it out, like came out and he dropped it and ultimately didn't get the lift and walk away with the
great matchup
win. And it's funny because then you look at the games, right? And he had it in hand. He had everything in front of him. And then there was that slip up, on the pig that ultimately unseated the rest of the way, and things kind of came unraveled from there. And I think everyone saw in that moment that it's only a matter of time for Matt, like that execution piece, which, in the clean and jerk isn't, it's not really something he can control for the most part, but everything else, it was like, he's got everything to win the games. And once he just kind of dials this in, it's going to be his. Yep. And I thought that was a great introduction outside of the games on like a stage that's solely focused on them for that. I loved that workout. That was a great workout.
All right. Well, now we're back to you.
Oh man, I feel like I've spent a lot of time pumping up other people's picks, which
you're not helping your own cause.
But he was talking about the workout. You're talking about the matchup itself. I'm surprised that matchup wasn't picked yet.
Yeah,
it was on my list.
Yeah, it was on my list too. But I was more just taken aback by, that's why the reason I picked Matt and Tia is I was just so taken aback by their performance because they made it look so easy. And I'm like, I'm going to get capped in this workout. Like I'm going to finish more than 14 minutes behind them in this. And, but I'm going to choose my workout. And this is my favorite open workout of all time. And it hasn't been repeated. And I'm so sad that it hasn't been repeated, and it won't be this year because of the equipment limitations. And that's open workout 15.3. So anyone that doesn't remember open workout 15.3, it is complete as many rounds and reps as possible in 14 minutes of 7 muscle ups, 50 wall ball shots, 100 double.
This one was on my list as well.
And
the matchup was not.
The matchup was not. That was the matchup of Julie Fouché and Lauren Brooks. Yeah. And in the second round, Lauren Brooks had to start breaking up the muscle ups. And everyone was like, oh no, Julie's going to win this one. But this was one that for me, I have such a strong memory of personally doing it. It was one of my favorite open workouts. I'm not a naturally good muscle upper guy. And I came into I remember I started working for HQ and I just got worked by everybody in a muscle up workout. Like Marston, Heber beat me. I mean, Ian Wittenberg doing like his weird kind of half strict ones. I remember Rory like kicking the crap out of me. I'm like, damn it, Rory's bigger than me and he's beating me in a muscle up workout. I can't let this happen.
In a muscle up workout?
Yeah, you beat me in a muscle up workout. I think it was like 2011, 2012. And I was like, this can't happen again. So I got to start working on it. And I remember in that workout, I did the sets of 7 unbroken throughout the workout. And that was like a big point of pride for me. But also it was the most fun I've ever had throwing down an open workout. That year, Carrie Hare, who was a coworker of ours, was trying to make regionals, and it was the new super regional format. He did it that Friday. We knew his score. Me, Marston, Heber, I think Ian was there too. We throw down that Friday afternoon. Thankfully, I beat my friends, constituents, and we beat Carrie's score. That was a point of emphasis for Carrie that he now knew that these guys were ahead of him. So he was fighting for one of those bubble spots. He comes back Monday, does it Monday morning, beats all of our scores. We come back Monday afternoon. Remember, the deadline is 5 p.m. It's like 3:30 when we lace up. We do the workout. We finish. It's maybe 4:15. Carrie Hare is watching us as we do it, and all three of us beat his second score. And he has his shoes ready to go, warms up, does it a second time that day, a third time that weekend, and beats our score and his previous score again. And that point differential is what got him into regionals that year. And I was so amazed. I was honestly proud of him because he did it twice in one day. He did like I think he did somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 wall balls that day, which I can't even imagine doing at this point.
A lot of lactic acid.
Yeah. And he got to regionals, and I felt like it was fun that like our bro down that we did had a purpose there and helping like elevate a friend. And that was super cool. And I loved that workout. Some of my favorite photos came out of that, like of us throwing down. And I look at that photo as a fond memory of what the Open is about for me. So.
Yeah, I really, that was on my list too. I really like that workout a lot.
Yep.
All right. Up. Now we're going to Row. These are final two picks, Row. You're going to end.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. And you're going to start round 5.
All right. So what I definitely messed up on what I meant for the workout was probably my matchup when the 3 daughters went head to head, but I still owe a matchup, right?
Yeah. But that can also, well, you already did your wild card. No, you haven't done your wild card yet. So you can pick another one.
Yeah. There's too many. So,
okay.
Right. I guess for my matchup from here, what I'm torn between is, and I don't even mind giving it. Has everybody picked their matchup already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
So I'm torn between 15.5 and 16.5. All of those are 3 athlete matchups. It goes Briggs CLB, Thoris Daughter in Vegas, or Smith Fraser Froning at the ranch.
Those are both good picks.
Both triple champ.
And I'll tell you what my honorable mention is that I'm not going to pick, but it's 13.4 Spieler versus Holmberg.
That's a great one.
The Fight Club.
Yeah.
The Fight Club. The atmosphere. We didn't really do an actual atmosphere one necessarily, but that was a fantastic vibe matchup. Everything. If you're old school, like that at the time, it was a great matchup and a great workout too. I am going to go with 16.5 Smith Fraser Froning. We talked about the 15.1 Froning Fraser. I think that all fans of the sport, I don't know if you guys mentioned it the other day, Morning Chalk Up posted a highlight of that 15.1, but any fans of the sport, lots of people like to talk about Fraser Froning. That I think was a particularly legendary year, and it was at the ranch. So cool for us because we got to drive down the street to do a live broadcast, right? And there was so much fanfare around that. Like there was a lot of shooting of guns and doing ranch stuff and having fun. And then there was the actual workout itself and the matchup. And there were some other ones that year. I'm trying to think of Fraser's. There's another Fraser one that stood out to me where I was like, oh no, sorry. That was the following year.
17-3 the following year.
17-3. Oh man. 17-3 was like, oh no, this guy's mad. Watching Matt Fraser just like, okay, he's going to annihilate everyone. But anyway, 16.5 I thought was a really cool matchup. And then on the tail end of it, Castro jumped in with Boz and did the Roe versus Boz versus Castro.
One of the greatest thumbnails of all time. They took Castro at the top of a thruster for that Roe versus Boz, and he looks like someone just dunked his head in the toilet right before and just gave him a swirly.
And he was talking so much trash before. You remember that? Like he legitimately thought that he was going to be
like Dave.
Yeah. But at least he's usually realistic. I was like, it baffled. It made me laugh that he thought that he was really going to beat us. But so that's going to be my pick for matchup. You had 3 male champions on the floor and just a heinous workout. Such a heinous workout. Let's see. And then what else do I owe? What do I need to do?
You have a wild card now. Wherever you want to go. Anything you want about the Open.
Oh man. This is a tough one. Here's one that I'm tempted to do. Tommy went off the rails. He picked something from 2019. I'm tempted to give, despite the hurt and the pain and the, what'd you call it when we all got fired?
The purge.
Despite all of that, I do have to say that in my heart of hearts, it was cool to see simulcasts in different languages, with different people. You know, it was bubblegum and duct tape, and a lot of them didn't come together in the right way, but seeing people pull off a version of a live announcement with very little leeway, with large expectations from the previous years, and still throwing their hat in the ring and doing it. Like, there was all sorts of guffaws, but at the same time, it was like there were also broadcasts in other languages, and there was people who got a shot at it. That's honorable mention.
Okay.
And then I'm tempted to say best after party.
Oh yeah, there we go.
All right.
It was I think I will never forget. We have a fantastic picture in front of the Waffle House in Jacksonville, Florida. That one's pretty off the chain. Definitely didn't sleep that night. The Vegas party was amazing as well. And then, man, where do we go with this, Tommy? Where do I go with this?
I mean, there's anywhere you want.
I know.
Roe versus Boz, I think could,
I mean, there's so much. I don't want to give away picks, but yeah, I had an entrance song for one of my miscellaneous.
I got an honorable mention that I think were you there in Brooklyn, Ro?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There was another great after party.
There were some there were some things that went on there too that allowed that had to be done to get that broadcast on air.
That's right. Yeah, we were breaking into buildings and
exactly.
doing all sorts of stuff. That was another one where we went to that night. We ended up at White Castle. We ordered like 5 suitcases of hamburgers and no one ate any of them. And I woke up in my room. Like when you should get used to a smell. When you're in the room with it, you get used to it.
Yeah.
I woke up and it still smelled bad. And I was like, oh, this is awful. So, another honorable mention there.
Suitcases of burgers.
I guess I'll go. You know what? I'm going to go back. And so it wasn't my pick, but St. Charles, Missouri, the Fight Club Vive of 13.4.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that they ever broadcast Roe versus Boz.
All right.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Previously, we had a couple videos go up here and there, some social media stuff. That one made it to YouTube, and actually, if you Google Roe versus Boz, usually that one will come up first. And it was 3 toes to bar, 3 clean and jerks, 6, 6, 9, 9, all the way until 10 minutes, I think.
Yep.
That was almost my pick for the worworkout, for my my
open
workout. That is the only open workout that I blacked out on.
Oh, geez.
Really?
Yeah. I got to, there was like a minute, there was like 45 seconds left or something like that. And I don't know why, and he usually never did watch me do open workouts otherwise, but Justin Berg came down and literally stepped in front of me as I got to the bar, and he looked at me. He goes, "You're not going to stop. You're not going to take a break. You're going to finish this. There's 35 seconds left. You're going to go." I remember picking up the first rep, and that's all I remember.
Wow.
I got off the toast bar, got back to the clean and jerks, and all of a sudden I kind of come to, and I guess I held on, and he was like, "Nice job." And I was like, why did you decide to just step in front of me and tell me to go? And he's like, "I don't know. I just felt compelled."
Where am I?
Yeah.
That was a big wake up call for me too. Cause even back then we still had specialists, and it was like big guys did this and little guys did this. And it couldn't have been more clear with me and Boz, where I had the lead on him going in, and it was only 7 minutes. So it was perfect. I would vote for that one 9 times out of 10 too. Like a 7-minute time domain. Yes, please. And he came back on that last set of toes bar. It was either 12 or 15 and got me by a couple. I was like, oh. It was also in the days of 5-hour energy. So I'll never forget that line either. It's some of Tanya Wagner's best work, where she's like, I was taking the court. I took the court with a beer in my hand, put it down. And she's like, if you had seen the stuff that's gone into Rory's body today, you should not be out there.
Oh, dear.
I inventoried my caffeine intake. And
oh, man.
That used to be my job. Every year at the games, Rory would text me and he'd just be like, "Are you handling supplies?" I'm like, "No, but what do you need?" He's like, "You know what I need." And I just go to Costco and buy the biggest fight. I'm like, there's more hours of energy in this pack than the entire hours of the week. Yeah. And by Wednesday, Rory'd be like, "So you got any more of those?" I'm like, "How many have you had?
Don't you have a surplus now?"
Like, don't you have a
24-hour energy?
You have a kidney stone now, Rory.
All right, that's a good way to close out, though. Yeah. I like the first Roe versus Boz broadcast.
Fight Club.
So now, Tommy, it's your final pick here in round 5.
I feel like I'm getting great value here in round 5.
You always do in the final round.
With any one of the Castro outfits that I can pick from. You know, a couple come to mind right away. The 17.5 suit and tie. You know, that's a great one. I always say, you know, you never want to be underdressed to a party, but you can be overdressed. And you know, there's nothing like I think the juxtaposition of him in a full suit with two women about to throw down in like booty shorts and tank tops, like the disparity in the amount of fabric shared amongst all three of them stands out. But you know what? I'm going to stick to my roots here.
Oh,
and I'm going to go 17.2 and what I call his Foos Gone Wild outfit. So if you remember, 17.2 was done at Rogue, and he wore one of the Rogue shop worker jackets outfits that has like the name, and he had a beanie on, and he looked like, you know, growing up, every neighborhood's got a guy, right? You got a guy. It's like, oh, like, you know, maybe the lower income neighborhoods, but you know, it's like, oh, your fridge needs fixing. I got a guy. You know, don't take that into don't call a professional. I got a guy. Oh, your engine's working? I got a guy.
Transmission problem.
Yeah, transmission problem. I got a guy. You know, and every neighborhood's got a guy. And he looked like that guy. You know, yeah, like he was in full cholo mode, and you know, he looked like, oh, that's the guy. Oh, that's, you know.
You know what's funny is you say that he looked like the guy. I was violently just so jealous because it was a Castro shirt. It was embroidered, like with his name.
With his name on it.
Yeah. I was just standing there next to him, and I was like, "Hey, hi, Bill and Katie. No, okay, yeah.
He looked like he just got done with a shift on the production line, and then stepped on, as you know, as your cousin Chewy that you know works for Rogue, but also is the neighborhood mechanic in case someone breaks down and doesn't want to pay full price. You know, and I just love that, because I was like, that is like that. The inner Mexican to me was so happy, because if you don't know, Dave's family, his dad growing up, and they owned a trucking business. So, and the ranch is literally where their truck yard was. So, and you know, the whole family, like Dave's brother Kenny is like he's got the mechanic blood in him, you know, like best grip I've ever seen, actually, by the way. They all worked on bikes and trucks, and they've just got that mechanic's mindset of fixing and you know, their own things. And so Dave, to me, it was just like, all right, Dave's getting back to his roots there a little bit, you know, blue collar, hardworking. You're in the Rogue facility. And I actually like that. I thought that was a cool jacket, and he wore the beanie. He wore a little bit low. You know, he was a mustache away from being one of those little homies dolls that you get in the vending machines. And like, if they had remade Cheech and Chong, he might have been cast as one of the cousins. Yeah, it was perfect.
That's a good one. I like that one. So we're going to call it Foos Gone Wild Dave.
Foos Gone Wild.
Okay, so that's to me now, and I have to close it out, and I haven't picked a location yet, and I think, Tommy, you know which one I'm going to take, and it was the one open announcement that you and I got to do together.
Yes.
And that was 18.1 when we kicked things off in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it was the first time we'd been down there. It was also sort of a way to tease that the regionals were coming back to Latin America, because that's 2018. We actually had a regional in Latin America, and there was a trucker strike and all that thing went down. They didn't even know if they were going to be able to have it, and the local community rallied and made it happen. But it was crazy to me, because they did it at this it was like a sports complex, for lack of a better term, and they had an indoor like basketball court that had some stands in it, and it was
Gimnasio Polisportivo, I think.
I'll accept that. That sounds correct. People were lined up hours ahead of time. Usually when we would do an open announcement, and it was at a gym, so there was, you know, not a lot of space, but people would show up, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes early. There wasn't like tailgating going on. There were people like outside partying. You know, the atmosphere once they got inside was incredible, and it didn't calm down after the elite athletes went, because we had the elite athletes, we had Holta, and I think Briggs went in that first one, and then they had some local athletes compete, and it was even crazier for them. And the seating area spilled out. Like, we sort of had like a designated area you want your fans to be in, sort of where the cameras are, so you can see them. Well, they were way outside of that too, and those stands were packed. And I really remember thinking, man, this is a special atmosphere down there. And it was, I can't wait to see the semifinal. It's going to be there in May and June, because I think the atmosphere there is going to be incredible. And there's just something really cool about the passion that they brought. And it was just an open announcement. It was the first one. And it felt like, almost felt like the games.
It was that, like you mentioned the passion. It was awesome because Brazil is the second largest CrossFit market in the world right now. They're the second country besides the United States to break 1,000 affiliates. And it was palpable there. Like, we showed up and it was like, oh, wow. I think we were almost a little bit ignorant to the fact of like how popular it was there at the time, and getting to see that passion like play out. And granted, it was also like, wasn't it like 11 p.m.
When we did that,
when that workout actually went down, and they were just like, we're going all night.
Yeah. And they did.
It does not matter. And I was fortunate to go down to the 2019 Brazil CrossFit Championships, and that crowd was insane. And it's just like, there is that level of, we talk about the rabid sports fan base, and that's, I think they carry that into just whatever they get behind. Like, it doesn't matter. And it was the first open announcement that I got to call in person, call in person live. So that was super special. I probably should have taken that one. And I have so many funny memories. Like, I remember Marcin, we're doing walkthroughs, and Marcin's down there, and he had his first like real acai ball.
Yes, I was going to mention the acai.
And he's walking by. He's like, I remember seeing him take the bite, and he's like shocked. Like, oh, you guys had some of this? He's like, it's like refreshment just slapped you upside the head. They said, knocked on the door. Who is it? Refreshment. Slap. like, what? You got that from a bowl of acai?
It was good too.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember.
And the city itself too. Like understanding how big Sao Paulo is. Like, I was blown away with that.
Yeah. They took I think we flew in or flew out, and the plane took a bank turn, and I looked out the window and saw the sprawling cityscape, and it was like, oh, this is huge. This place is way bigger than I thought.
Massive. Yeah. It was
I almost stole that one. So I went with Mexico City. I almost stole that one because, fun fact, my friends, this was served up to me. That was 3 years ago today.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Oh,
3 years ago.
And we're recording this on February 22nd. Yeah, I remember, because I remember I stayed up all night too before that, because the U.S. women's hockey team was playing in the Olympic gold medal game. And so I had to watch it. And, then I got to bed at like 4 a.m. or something. So
another fun memory was afterwards, after the announcement, we went out to dinner at one of like the I guess it's just a steakhouse there, but like we call it a Brazilian steakhouse in the United States. And I remember Gui Malheiros was sitting next to me at the table. And, they have it so where you like, you turn the thing that says yes, no, like whether you want more food. And I don't know if he had never been to that particular one, because it was pretty high end. And he's just a young kid. And his eyes were like the size of dinner plates, because they just kept bringing it. And, he's a teenager. He's growing and he's like, he can eat for days. Yeah, he's got 4 stomachs. And he just looked at me. He goes, they just keep, it's as much as I want. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, like he just won the lottery. And I watched that kid put down so much food. It reminded me of a young version of myself, back in the day, old 13 sandwich Tommy. But yeah, it was that was just like a fun weekend altogether. Those little like those pan de queijo, those like little cheese balls.
Oh yes. Dave Eubanks ordered 2 desserts that night.
Oh,
I'm like, you're getting 2? He's like, oh yeah. So that, I know we could talk about this forever, but the Open's it's a special time, and I have a feeling some of that's going to start coming back. So
yeah. Oh man, I just got to get in shape.
I got a couple days to do it. Oh man, Ro, what is I know you mentioned some wild cards. We're running a little short on time, but I will let you sort of kind of walk down memory lanes. And what was a couple things that you wanted to pick that you didn't, that maybe you haven't already mentioned?
I loved, like, 16.1 was the first time that we added quote unquote regular people. So we actually had scale people on the floor. So it was China Cho and Emily Abbott at the time, but then we
that was in San Jose, right?
Yeah, that was in San Jose.
That was a great one,
There were some regular people on the floor. I thought that was a nice touch that we had talked about for a bunch of years. Man, in terms of the matchups, I always enjoyed a good Josh Bridges Panchik matchup. There was a couple of those that were pretty epic. We touched on a couple of these, Fraser Sager and Panchik head to head. One of my other favorites.
That one.
What number was the one where we did dumbbell front squats and I just like sold my soul to the devil?
Oh,
couldn't
That
clean
was
135.
18-2.
That was the burpees too, right?
And it was a two-parter. It was 18-2, 18-2, and 18-2A, where there was a max clean at the end.
Yeah.
And actually, that's one of my vivid memories is when we did it the second time, I think at Central, and you sold out for the first part to beat Boz. And then you had like 185 on the bar afterwards, and you were like peeled yourself up to clean it. I'm like, okay, Rory will get this lift in.
Yeah. And
you failed like 185, and you looked at me like we locked eyes, and you gave me the like, I'm in trouble. Like, oh no, like
what just happened?
Call 911 now.
I was proud of myself.
Oh, that
I mean, I hadn't taken a chance like that in a long time. And then of course, go ahead.
I was gonna say the fact I was also just proud of the fact that like you went that hard on that front place to put you had to go that hard in part one to be able to get to that spot.
And they still had to redo it because my poor young judge wouldn't call me on hip extension, but everybody on the internet did.
Yeah,
and rightly so. So I had to redo it in the gym.
Yeah, I had Dan Bailey versus Panchik in the first open announcement in 13.1. I had for the locations the garage gym.
I had that one too. That was cool
too.
Yeah,
that was the famous miscount.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was Bjorkman and Dan, right?
For Bjorkman and Dan, yeah.
Montreal 17.1. We got to actually take part in the punishment. I got ballooned and
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got watered and whatever.
Oh man, that was rough. All right. Well, we're going to post our drafts on our Talking Elite Fitness Instagram account, and everyone listening to this or watching this on YouTube, go there and vote. That's the only place where votes count. I appreciate people voting for me in the comments on the YouTube page, but they don't count.
Yeah,
we got to keep this all in one place.
Yes.
So go to the Instagram page and vote there, and we'll see, man. Maybe Ro can even things up for the guests, because right now Tommy is the leader in the clubhouse with 2 victories, right?
Mm-hmm. I got 2. Sean's got 1. Our guests have 2.
So I'm the one who's trailing.
Well, yeah, technically, but if we talk about us as a team, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
All right, so it's 3-2.
Yeah.
All right, well, yeah, okay, then I need some help.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, Ro, we really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Hope to see you soon, my friend, and hope all is good with your family and everybody there in Cookeville.
Likewise, brothers. This was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good times going down memory lane. For Rory McKernan and Talia Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Take care of each other, be better, and we will talk to you guys very soon.